Story 2. Warning. They were sitting in a wagon. They both loved it there. Their mother had already stepped out, ready to move into their new house. Agatha ran to the horse and wagon. "Are you coming or what?" she asked. The two girls step out of the wagon and avoid the muddy puddle in front of them by jumping over it. "Careful," the mother urged them. "It's over there. Let's not waste too much time and get there before it starts raining again." "Mom, Rosie pushed me," one of the girls said. "But Myrtle was saying that I looked funny with the bow in my hair," the other said. "I don't want to hear about it," Agatha said. "Move along now. Come on." Before they knew it, it started raining again. They reached the house in time before they got soaked. The house was enormous. It had 10 different bedrooms, 5 hallways, and 2 sets of winding staircases. Its elegant decorations reminded Agatha of the Victorian era, the good old days. Now she was going to repossess the house that was already hers. Her husband had left her. He had passed away a long time ago, and Agatha was raising her 2 daughters by herself. Now they were standing there, facing an empty house, with more space they could have ever dreamt of. Agatha looked at her 2 girls and told them to swipe off the moisture on their jackets. "But we will be the only ones there," Myrtle protested. "Doesn't matter if we are wet or not." "This house is going to be clean and tidy," her mother answered. "I will not have you forsake your manners because we have no guests." The 3 went inside. "Whoa!" Rosie exclaimed. "This is big, Mom." "I know, Rosie. I inherited it a long time ago. We moved away before you 2 were born." "I like it," Rosie said. "It looks a little creepy," Myrtle disagreed. "Well, you'll get used to it," Agatha said as she walked to the windows and started straightening the curtains. "What is that painting on the wall?" Rosie asked. "That? Oh, that's a creeper. I don't know why anybody painted that. Let's get rid of it. It looks hideous." "Didn't Dad used to fight those things?" Myrtle asked. "Yes, he did," Agatha said. "Your father was a brave man." Agatha walked to the horrendous-looking painting and stared at it. Someone had painted a creeper with ugly teeth and mean eyes. The shadows behind it were even eerier than the creature in the foreground. It gave Agatha the shivers, so she took it off the wall and threw it out the door. The girls looked in amazement when they saw their mother's sudden display of assertiveness. The painting and the frame were being flooded by the rain in the mud to be forgotten and thrown away. "Don't stare. You don't want it, right? So there's no problem, is there?" "No, Mom," her 2 daughters said. That night, they were sleeping in the same room. All 3 wanted to stay together, just because of the dark, scary house they were in. It was spacious, but it didn't put them at ease. They all slept, all except for Myrtle. She was wide awake, and she wouldn't fall asleep any time soon. "Such an inheritance," she thought. "Just because this place is big doesn't mean I have to like it. Look at the walls, they're black, and the curtains are an ugly brownish color. I have to go to the bathroom." She got up and walked out of the bedroom. Her mother and older sister were still sleeping. They didn't notice anything. Myrtle tiptoed to the other side of the hallway, where the bathroom was. The hallway was long and high, and the shadows of the trees were giving it a gloomy atmosphere through the leaded glass windows on her right. Luckily, she found the light switch in the bathroom and turned on the light. She looked in the mirror. There were big bags under her eyes. She was dead tired. Then she lifted the toilet seat. Thud! Thud!
Huh? What was that? Is anybody there?
She asked. Silence.
Hello?
Still no sound. Then suddenly, thud! Thud! This scared Myrtle so much that she didn't take a chance and ran back.
Ow!
She screamed.
Mommy, there is somebody in the bathroom.
Agatha woke up. What? What is it?
I don't know, but there is somebody in there, I swear,
Myrtle answered while crying.
Oh, don't be ridiculous,
Rosie said.
It's not like there are ghosts in this house or something. Ghosts don't exist.
Be nice to your sister, Rosie, Agatha said. I will go check it out. Can you stay here?
Sure,
Myrtle said.
I'm not going back there.
Her mother checked. After being away for a few minutes, she came back and shook her head. I found nothing, she said. Sorry, it must have been your imagination.
But I heard something,
Myrtle insisted.
I don't know what it was, but there was definitely something there.
Well, whatever it was, it's gone now, her mother said. Please go back to sleep. So she did. That was the first encounter. The next day, Myrtle and Rosie were playing.
I am the mighty princess who defeats the ghosts, blazes, and pigmen in the underworld,
Rosie said.
Then I am the sweet princess who gets rescued by the hero,
Myrtle said.
Or I could rescue you,
Rosie countered.
No, I want to be rescued by a handsome prince,
Myrtle said.
A prince wouldn't want to marry you because you're too scared. I am not a wimp. You are always making things up and start being afraid of them,
Rosie claimed.
That's not true. I did hear something last night. Oh yeah? Then how come Mom didn't see anything?
But before Myrtle could answer, they both heard a thud, once repeated. Thud. Thud.
Oh, what was that?
Rosie asked.
I don't know, but it's the same sound I heard last night,
Myrtle said.
Ha, probably just a rat or a stupid cat,
Rosie said.
Let's go check it out. It could be fun. No, don't go over there. It may be a monster or something. Ugh, such nonsense. I don't know where you get all these ideas.
But when they heard another thud, Rosie became a little nervous too. They both went to the other side of the room and opened the door. It was dark in the other room. The curtains were closed. They couldn't see anything, and the only light switch was near the other door.
Stay here, Rosie said. I'll go turn the light on. Don't leave me, Myrtle said. It's okay. I will be just a few seconds.
Rosie walks through the darkness to the other side of the room.
Ah!
Myrtle screams when she sees a white, see-through figure standing in the room. Now she was certain the house was haunted. She just saw a ghost, a little girl like herself, floating above the floor in a white dress. Rosie turned the light on and the figure disappeared.
Now what?
Rosie asked.
Why are you screaming? You didn't see it? There was a ghost right there,
Myrtle said.
Then how come I didn't see it? I think you're just making it up. I'm not. I really saw a ghost, Rosie. Yeah, sure. There is always something. Let's just go back to the room and play again.
This was the second encounter. That evening, the sky was dark, but the rain had stopped. The ground was still soggy, but a round, clear, full moon shone through the clouds. Agatha had talked to her daughter that day and assured her there was nothing going on, but Myrtle insisted. The 3 family members were in white sleeping dresses. Again, Rosie and Agatha were fast asleep. They didn't seem to worry, but Myrtle was shaking heavily. She knew there was a ghost, but she wondered why. What did the little ghost girl want from them? Was she trying to scare them? Kick them out of the house? What was happening here? The nervousness caused her bladder to fill up quickly. She felt it. She had to go to the bathroom again, but she didn't want to. She was extremely anxious for the ghost to show up.
But the ghost hasn't attacked me so far, she reasoned.
It took her a few minutes of resisting her bodily urges before she gave in and got up. She walked through the large hallway and saw the full moon through the window. Then she turned on the bathroom light and looked in the mirror. She gasped for air. She wanted to scream, but something was telling her not to. Something or someone. There she was, the little ghost girl. She was holding her finger in front of her mouth, as to tell Myrtle to be quiet. Myrtle almost peed right there, but she held it in. She was terribly afraid. She looked behind her. The ghost was gone. The only place she saw her was in the mirror.
"What do you want?"
she finally asked, hoping to communicate with the spirit from the other realm. The ghost girl waved to the right, telling her to follow her.
"I have to go first,"
Myrtle said, so she sat down and went. After she flushed, the ghost girl appeared in front of her, signaling Myrtle to follow her again. Myrtle obeyed blindly. She knew something was wrong, but the little ghost girl didn't look so scary anymore. She was just like her, except for the fact that she was a ghost. They walked through the hallway, with the ghost girl leading the way. When they were in the bedroom, she signaled to wake up her mother and sister.
"Why?"
Myrtle asked. The ghost girl came closer and was right in front of her face, giving her a rebuking look, as if she was saying, "Just do it already." It startled Myrtle, but that was exactly what the ghost girl wanted. So Myrtle said,
"Mom, Rosie, wake up."
They both woke up and saw the ghost.
"Whoa, what is that thing?"
Rosie asked.
"Is that a ghost?"
"Dear, please stay away from that thing," Agatha said. "Come here."
"No, Mom,"
Myrtle answered.
"I think she is trying to tell us something. Let's just follow her."
Are you sure?" Agatha asked.
"How do you know we can trust this, ghost? This girl?" "I just do. Trust me. At first I was scared too, but I know now that she is showing me things, so it must be all right."
"Fine. Let's see what she has to show us," was the answer. All in their sleeping dresses, the mother and 2 daughters ran after the ghost girl, who was flying faster and faster through the long hallways of the giant house. Eventually, she flew down the stairs to the front door. Panting a little, Agatha asked,
"What is it already? My curiosity has been sparked." "Let's open the front door," Rosie said. "That's where it must be, the thing she wants to show us." They unlocked the front door and walked outside. It was chilly, especially on their bare feet, but it was okay, bearable. The ghost flew in front of them and hovered above the ground for a minute, pointing down at the mud. Agatha and her 2 girls looked surprised. "Is it the painting?"
Myrtle asked. The ghost girl nodded. They came closer, and the mother dug into the mud to grab the ugly creeper painting and its frame. She brushed off the mud, and then she saw it.
"Oh no,"
she said.
"What is it, Mom?"
Rosie demanded to know.
"We are doomed. This painting meant something. Look,
She showed the back of the painting to her daughters. It read the following: "Wherever this painting will be, the next explosion will be. 100 creepers in the dark of the night, only lit up by the full moon. Beware the creeper curse, vengeance will be theirs."
What does that mean, Mommy?
Myrtle asked.
It means we must get out of here fast,
she answered. They looked at the ghost girl one last time.
Thank you,
Agatha said.
Thank you for warning us. Quickly, girls, don't worry about our things. Most of them are still at the other house anyway. We just have to run. Let's go.
She grabbed her daughter's hands and ran downhill with them, away from the house. When she felt she was far enough, she looked around and gazed at her inherited home. The ghost girl was still there, waving at them. Then she looked to the right and saw 100 creepers dash up the hill and run at the house. Some of them tripped. Others jumped over rocks and moved faster, but all of them were speeding in the same direction. When they arrived, the house exploded in dozens of different places.
Ooh! Mom!
Myrtle and Rosie both screamed. Agatha knelt down and put her arms around her daughters, protecting their ears from the noise and their sight from the bright light the fire emanated.
Boom! 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 Boom!
It didn't stop for another 5 minutes. Creepers were still attacking the house and committing suicide doing it. When it was over, Agatha let go of her daughters. They all watched their newly acquired house burn to the ground.
Why did this happen, Mom?
Rosie asked.
I don't understand.
When your father died, Agatha explained, he often talked about the creepers he fought at the borders of our land. He must have killed thousands of them before he died in battle. He also mentioned a little girl he tried to save, but couldn't. The guilt was strong. It was as if he had failed completely. I still remember talking about it over and over again.
But why did the creepers attack our house?
Rosie asked. They wanted payback. They finally found our address and wanted to avenge the deaths of other creepers. It all makes sense to me. The girl who died probably suspected it and came to this house to warn us.
So where do we live now?
Myrtle asked. Oh, don't worry. We still have our other house. We will move back there. The only thing that's a bummer is that this house was a lot bigger. It was huge. I kind of liked it. The three of them began to walk to the village from whence they came a few days earlier.
Mom,
Myrtle said after a while. Yes, dear, go ahead. What is it?
If it's any consolation to you, I didn't like that house anyway. It was black and big and ugly.
Agatha laughed. Thanks, Myrtle. I'll keep that in mind. The end. Author's note. Thanks again for buying my book. If you have a minute, please leave a positive review. I take reviews seriously and always look at them. This way, you are helping me provide you better content that you will love in the future. A review doesn't have to be long, just 1 or 2 sentences, and a number of stars you find appropriate. Hopefully 5, of course. Also, if I think your review is useful, I will mark it as helpful. This will help you become more known on Amazon as a decent reviewer, and will ensure that more authors will contact you with free ebooks in the future. This is how we can help each other.